Welcome back to my channel and another Topic Tuesday here. Today's topic is, what is your go-to mani color when you're drawing a blank? And I just felt like I could really expand on this topic as per usual. So this is going to be a really chatty Topic Tuesday, which, if you don't like chatty videos, I don't know why you're on this channel, because that's all I do is just talk and talk and talk. So I don't really have any go-to colors for when I cannot decide. But I do have some go-to methods on how to choose when I cannot decide. Because for me, when I can't pick a mani color, there's like a more psychological reason for why I can't. And it is just that I am so overwhelmed by choice. Like, do you ever look at your collection and you just think, I have nothing to wear? Like, I have 1,500 nail polishes, and sometimes I just go, there's nothing to wear. There's nothing to wear. I can't wear any of these. There's nothing. I don't know what I want to wear. I don't have any particularly strong feelings for what I want to wear. I can't even focus on what I have, yet I want to paint my nails. I want polish on my nails. I don't like having bare nails. And that can be like dangerous, because if I don't know what I want to wear and I feel like I have nothing to wear, I go, well, maybe I need to go buy something new, which I don't. I really, really don't. It's really hard having that indecisive moment, like that severe oversaturation of choice, that decision fatigue. I hate that feeling. And I feel like more so than ever before, I am feeling that. I think the first time I really realized that having a bunch of choices isn't always the greatest thing was when I moved back to the US from Japan. My supermarket in Japan, when you went and you were like, I want cereal or I want soup or something like that, they would have a small section of each. They had a handful of choices, and you would choose from like 3 or 5 or something like that items, and there really wasn't too much. I had a small supermarket. And I think it's pretty similar in a lot of countries that are not the United States. Their supermarkets are not these massive, like 9,000 option type of places. And then I moved back and we went grocery shopping for the first time, and we went to Walmart, and no joke, I cried. Like, I was so overwhelmed by how many things were staring me in the face, just boom, pops of color everywhere. You go down the cereal aisle, there are seriously no less than 300 different options, I swear. It's overwhelming. So sometimes you just need to stop and collect and refocus yourself. And it happens with nail polish too. I know that probably sounded insane, but I'm serious. Like, sometimes we give ourselves so many choices that we can't choose. So today for you, I have 5 different ways that might help you combat those really overwhelming feelings. And maybe I'm just projecting my anxiety onto you guys, but I swear there's got to be somebody out there who feels the same as me. But if you don't, just here's a little peek into the inner workings of my brain. So the first thing I like to do if I cannot decide what color I want to wear is I outsource it. I just ask my boyfriend, I'm like, I need you to pick this for me because I can't think anymore. He's got no horse in the race. It doesn't really matter to him. These colors don't mean anything to him. So he can pick something without feeling like, oh, I'm favoring a brand or a color or anything like that. So sometimes I'll say, what color family should I wear? And maybe he'll say like blue. And then I'll go and I'll grab one of my swatch rings and I'll hand it to him. And I say, just pick one. Pick a color. And he can't overthink it because he doesn't really think about like seasonal colors or certain finishes in a certain way. He just picks something that he likes, and that's that. I also like asking him because he takes it kind of seriously in a really funny way where it's like almost like I'm giving him a life or death mission. But I do remember one time I asked him, I'm like, what color should I wear? And he was like, chartreuse. And I kind of stopped for a second and I looked at him and I said, do you know what color chartreuse is? He was quiet for a second and he goes, no, not really. I was like, all right, chartreuse it is. But it's a really great way to put the burden of that choice onto somebody else. Asking your spouse, your partner, your mom and dad, your brother and sister, like whoever, ask your cat, ask your dog. They'll pick a color for you. And then you don't have to think about it anymore. And that kind of helps kind of break up my thought process, because sometimes I'm like, well, I've just worn 2 blues. I can't wear another blue, but maybe I do want to wear another blue and I'm just trying to talk myself out of it. If I don't go in to all that with whoever's picking my nail polish and like just let them decide, they'll do it for me, and then I'm just eased of that burden. If he's not around or he's too busy to pick my nail polish for me, I will also resort to looking at my untrieds. And I've showed you guys my spreadsheet. I can filter out all the polishes that I've worn and swatched and things like that, and I'm left with a list of everything that I have not worn yet. And then I can kind of narrow it down from there, because usually I take a picture of everything I wear and I add it to my swatch library. And if I can't think of what I want to wear, I want to prioritize something that maybe I don't have a swatch of, so that way at least I can knock out that task, right? And so I'll narrow it down, and then I might decide like, oh, I want to wear an orange today, and I'll filter by orange as well, and then I'll just pick whichever one intrigues me the most from that list. But in order for that to work, you have to know what your untrieds are. So if you don't document that or keep them separate in some way, this might not be the method for you. Another thing I like to do if I kind of have that brain block is I'll use a topper. I have a lot of toppers. I love toppers. They're really cute. They're really fun, but I often forget to use them. By the time I consider using a topper, I've already laid down my base color, and then the toppers that I want to wear at that time don't really go with the base color. So if I can't think of something to wear, I'll grab my topper swatch ring. As you can see, I have quite a few, and I will pick the topper that I want to wear. And then from there, I can kind of decide what color base I want to use. And it kind of makes the process easier. Even though I feel like I'm going backwards in the process, it helps me to pick my base color, because I feel like with a topper, it's a lot easier for me to decide which one I want to wear, because I have less toppers than regular nail polish, even though I have a lot. And certain ones just stick out to me a lot more. For an example, one time I did this, I got my Everything Bagel topper, and I really wanted to wear that, so I went in reverse and I picked out the topper first, the Everything Bagel topper, and then I was like, well, what would I wear this with? And I said, a bagel colored nail polish, duh. And I did a little Everything Bagel mani. The next method I have is just straight up go neutral. If you're like me, you always like to have something on your nails regardless, because I find that it adds an extra kind of level of protection to my nails. And also my nails are very stained. And if I go out in public with my nails, people probably think, ew, because it looks like I smoke like 10 packs a day because of how yellow they are, which is not a big deal, but it just sometimes I feel like I look dirty because of it. And so I just prefer to have something on my nails at all times if I can. So I do have a couple of neutral go-tos if my other methods don't work. And those are actually Essie's Chinchilli, which I've told you guys before. I've gone through a whole bottle of it. Now you can probably see why. With the indecisiveness of myself, it's very easy to have to rely on something like that. But the other one is Zoya's Jill, and that I think I've gone through about half of it because it's also my job interview color. But they're just really easy. Somebody in my comments once said like palette cleanser type polishes. Sometimes you need that little palette cleanser to reset your brain and know what you want to wear. You wear something kind of neutral, maybe boring. Like, I think neutrals can be really pretty, but you know, they're boring compared to some of the brights that we have in our collections. But if you try something like that, I feel like it maybe will re-inspire you to step out of the box again. And last, I would say, try to dupe something out. This is something that is newer to me, and it has been a lot of fun. Sometimes there are polishes that I'm interested in, but I just either don't want to spring for it at that moment, or, you know, shipping is going to take forever or something like that. Or I'm just like, I just don't want to buy new polishes just on the whim, right? Trying to not do that so much. So I think, how can I dupe this in my own collection? And it kind of forces you to go through your collection and really evaluate what you have and like hold it in your hands and look at everything. And sometimes that will also really help you to decide. And so think about some of the polishes that you've been wanting or have been on your wish list, and then go into your collection, see what you have that's similar, see how you might be able to dupe that out. And who knows, you might come away with something entirely different. You didn't dupe out the polish at all, but you came up with a really cool, different idea. I feel like this method is a lot of fun because it kind of has that scavenger/treasure hunt kind of feel to it. And you get to be creative about how you are maybe layering some polishes or comboing polishes in order to create the one you want. But at the same time, it's distracting you from that really overwhelming, indecisive feeling that you had going into the project, because now you're focused solely on recreating this polish with only the resources you have at hand, and it kind of gives you a tangible thing to work towards. I know for me, I feel a lot more comfortable when I have like a tangible goal or item in mind. I don't like a very like nebulous feeling. I don't like going somewhere and not knowing, exactly how it's going to go. And so having that kind of set goal to emulate after, even if it's just, like I said, even if you come up with something completely different, it really helps me refocus my thought process. So those are my 5 methods that I kind of rely on when I just cannot decide on a color to wear. Let me know if you guys do any of this stuff, because maybe I'm just like overthinking this, which is probably the case. That's just how I'm an overthinker. Another good method you could use that I never really got into, but I love watching people's videos for this, is creating an entire like monthly rack or like holiday based rack. I do like seasonal polish picks, but I feel like the racks are a little bit more intense. It gives you like, I think a lot of people do like 30 or so polishes. They have a pretty good sizable chunk, and it helps to like narrow your collection down and refocus it that way, which it's almost like making a mini collection within your collection. And I feel like that would be really helpful too. I think the main reason I don't do that is because I don't want to pull out all those polishes and then have to put them all back at the end of the rack period. So that's really the big reason why I don't do that way. But yeah, let me know your guys' methods as well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.